Woman's post online helps crack her missing sister's case decades later. Alissa Turney had mysteriously disappeared on May 17, 2001. The 17-year-old's last day at school at Paradise Valley High School in North Phoenix had ended at some point, but she never returned home. Just notice and unresolved issues remained. Sarah Turney, Alissa's younger sister, has been looking for clarification for over 20 years. She finally got what she's looking for. In today's video, we will decode the woman's post online that helps crack her missing sister's case decades later. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for an update whenever a new video is published. Each sister's connection with their father was peculiar. When it came to Sarah, Michael was a calm, laid-back parent, but he was more uptight and sterner when it came to Alissa, and he kept track of her whereabouts. He explained to Sarah that he did this because Alissa wanted more support and help in her life. Alissa's relationship with her stepfather was still tense. On May 17, 2001, the very last day of schooling before summer vacation, Michael failed to pick Sarah up from school. She ended up waiting for him at the house of a friend. Around 4 or 5 p.m, her dad arrived and informed Sarah that Alissa had mysteriously vanished. Upon returning home, Sarah tried to call Alissa on her dad's device but was unable to do so. Michael had Sarah search Alissa's bedroom at home. Alissa's luggage and belongings were spread out on her bunk, and her cell phone was on top of her chest of drawers beside another note. Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you said you really wanted me gone. Now you have it. Dad, I took $300 from you. That's why I saved my money. This didn't surprise Sarah since Alissa had an aunt in California with whom she had discussed previously moving in there because she didn't get on well with their father. Michael, who was also an officer, contacted the police that night to identify Alissa as a fugitive. Michael said she was a runaway and assumed her place was only in California. So police released a missing girl file, but no search or follow-up was undertaken. Michael told investigators he received a phone call from Alissa slightly earlier the morning just after she vanished, in which she accused him of her departure. She said to him that she's still in California and that she would not be returning. He also handed over his phone logs to the cops as proof of the call. Michael proceeded to tell Alissa's relatives and friends that he believed something awful had occurred to her since it had been so many years following her absence. He suspected that somebody was stalking her or harming her, and because the police were unable to intervene, he had no choice but to look for her himself. Thomas Heimer provided a link to the police in 2006, 3 years after Alissa vanished. Heimer spent time in a Florida jail for manslaughter, where he wrote police a note pleading guilty to Alissa's manslaughter. Throughout their investigation, police discovered that the letter was a joke, but that something didn't add up. Alissa hasn't really reached any of her friends or family members in the 7 years after she vanished, including her aunt, who she was expected to stay with. The $1,800 that she had in her savings account at the time was still there, untouched. Her social insurance number had never been used, indicating that she never worked or attended school. The fact that it was not a runaway situation becomes apparent to the police. According to police, Alissa was not even in school for the whole day on the day she mysteriously disappeared. Alissa's partner, John, reported that Michael had collected her up from school at lunch break, saying Alissa had informed him she was skipping school but would be seeing him later that afternoon at the end-of-year party. Most of her friends thought that she told them that she would see them at the party later that evening. According to Michael's version of the events, he took her out for lunch. However, when they got back home, they got into some kind of confrontation over house rules, which resulted in her marching off to the bedroom and him departing to run an errand. According to the police, Michael had also been revealed to be violent and aggressive and a suspicious individual. He had recorded any inbound and outbound network calls to his home and had surveillance cameras from the outside of his residence. There was another one concealed in the living room fan. Whenever the investigators demanded the video recordings from the day Alissa vanished, Michael told them that he had been through them and found nothing. They searched the audio tapes that day. He explained that the recordings had switched off instead and none had been captured. The police now had sufficient permission to search the building. Investigators discovered 26 improvised pipe bombs, as well as a 90-page manifesto penned by Michael. Michael said in the manifesto that Alissa had run away. but that she'd been pursued by two men from the technical union where he used to work. He was an informant at the mechanical block, and he believes the men killed Alissa in retaliation for his actions. He then extracted vengeance on the two men who were responsible for her murder. The men he referred to were found to have died of natural causes. Thousands of hours of recordings and videos have also been found, but investigators have been unable to locate anything else from the day Alissa mysteriously vanished. Alissa appeared to have been sexually abused by Michael in letters, and she signed a contract claiming that she hadn't been sexually molested. For the 26 pipe bombs, Michael Turney pleaded guilty and was sent to 10 years in prison. He was later diagnosed with schizophrenia personality disorder and was ordered to undergo mental health treatment. Justice has been served. Never lose faith that justice will be served. It took nearly 2 decades, but we succeeded, Sarah posts on Twitter. When the criminal investigation became colder over the years, Sarah was advised by law enforcement to establish a public identity to help keep the case going. She used the handle Justice for Alissa on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. She went out beyond the media and true crime fans to get the message out and draw attention to these issues. She also spent a year collecting funds and putting up a billboard at 19th Avenue on Interstate 17. Sarah launched the Voices for Justice series of a podcast in September 2019. She shared facts not well accepted by the general public or the murder mystery media. And given the information she received, she revealed the whole story about her sister's vanishing. Sarah needed to collect all of the police's facts about her sister's disappearance to be ready. She requested the information from the Phoenix Police Department and obtained almost 3,000 pages of publicly accessed notes and case documents in exchange. And then there was TikTok. Sarah entered the app to break the monotony when she was in quarantine, but it soon evolved into something more. Sarah stays in her workplace during her first update on the forum and says it's not simply becoming the family's failure, so someone had to do it. But here I am, forked up. In her video, the text reads, "When your father murders your sister and your family blames you for standing up for him." In another video, she has been filming while The Sign was her background music. She then spins around in a chair at the line, "I got a new life, you wouldn't remember me," with the on-screen text, "When the cops tell you that this is the only way to get your pedophile domestic terrorist father tried for your sister's murder is for him to be exposed in the papers, but you suffer from debilitating social anxiety." Alissa's complaint was referred to the prosecuting officer on June for proceedings towards Michael Turney. For something like the assassination of Alissa, a grand jury charged him on 1 count of second-degree murder, a Class 1 crime, on August 19. Turney was apprehended the following day. The department has been tight-lipped on the facts that led to his arrest. This is the job that matters to her as a county attorney. In a news conference, Maricopa County Attorney Alissa Turney said it is why she became a lawyer. The office's first priority will still be to get accountability for the crime families of the victims. Each day when they strive to do the right thing for the right reasons, they are driven by the goal of being a voice for those who can no longer speak for themselves. In a press conference, Turney stated that the detention is unjustified. In a good way, it's surprising. For too long, the family yearned for her and for information, and the Phoenix Police Department has worked hard to have them. Sarah immediately followed up with an update segment for the Voice of Justice podcast on Twitter. She praised her podcast followers and listeners in a sorrowful 2-minute post. "It may not have happened if it hadn't been for you guys," she stated with her voice breaking. "Thank you for becoming my family and for feeling as much as I do about Alissa. This has become a dreadful experience. I never expected to be in the mainstream, and I never hoped to follow my own podcast, but you guys made it happen." Did the social media really help Sarah? Is her father forgivable? What can we do to help with this kind of situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.